Okay. So yesterday we discussed file type.sql, file type.sql password, shodan.io. This shodan.io is another website, search engine you can call. It is very handy for your investigations, not only for web, it also used for some specific information. Let me log in. You can log in for this, and you can see the information about the CCTV cameras. Okay, any Apache servers, how many people are using their IP addresses. Okay, and one more we'll discuss. One is a census.io. This is nothing but another search engine, paid one. If you want to do any commercial activity, you can check in this one. Next one is a Zoomii. Zoomii is another kind of search engine. If you want to list all the servers which are using Zoomii Apache, you will get the list of all the Apache servers based upon the vulnerabilities also. So we discussed yesterday. One more thing is FOFA.so. The kind of search engine, make it is of it. You can get the information of the people. Another one is the snow.io. So for this, if you want to list the people's information, okay, go for this site. You can create your account with Google, sign in with Google. Okay. So how many digital market experts are there near to you? How many investigation officers are near to me? I can get the information. So just go for this website for people's information. So one more website called as a CRT.sh. So this CRT.sh, for example, I need some certificate information. If you type my company website, what is the company website? All of you try in your browsers, open your browsers. My company website, example www.mvsrec.edu.in. Search it. So you can see the information of the common name is mvsr.edu.in, matching entries, and the issuer name, and when it is logged, not before, not after. Okay, the certificate duration here, you can say. So how many digital, if you want to type my company name, you can type your company name. It will show the certificate information when we have created the particular one. Okay, when we have created the particular one. And the things will show the subdomains also here. If you type the Google, okay, go for the Google. I can type any domain name here. So type google.com. So you can see the google.com, the different, it will show subdomains of the google.com here. And same domains which have same certificate are got installed. So these are the same domain names and the same certificate here. This is CRT is nothing but a certificate of the Google. Okay. So another website I'll discuss, nothing but domaintools.com. This will help a lot of information, giving some information here, because Google database is not showing direct phone numbers or emails, addresses, because of some policies. They're not showing, but still domaintools.com pro version, if you install the pro version, the history of any person can be, people can be available from this website here. So you want to pay some amount for this. You want to go for pro version here. If you want to check how many people who are registered for a specific website, when they have got registered, what is the server IP address, and that information as well as subdomain information will be provided by who is the domain by the help of this domain tools.com here. Okay, so for that, go for this type Google. Who is domain tools dot com. Okay, who is domain tools.com? Just click on this. Just you can enter the IP address. If I want to know the IP address, or if I want to know the domain name, okay, I can enter the domain name as well as I can enter the IP address here. So please type any IP address. What is in your mind? Just I type what is in my mind. Just type, search it. So it is asking some captcha here. I am not a robot. So to avoid some brute force attacks, okay, it is asking the captcha here. What is a brute force attack here? So trying every possible combinations of your if a password here. So attempt to return repeatedly guess password, commonly used accounts, sometimes called as it as a password attack, brute force attack. So to avoid this type of brute force attacks, we are getting this captchas here. Okay, go it. The site name is whoisdomaintools.com. So I type the IP address is 192.168.20.22. Now it's a private IP address LAN, and you can see the information of the IP address and subdomains here. The information may be sometimes true, sometimes it may be not a it may be a false information, depends upon the website. Okay, try it. You can type domain name also, any Google or Microsoft, whatever it may be, you can type it. I'll give 2 seconds. Please type and say the answer. I'm not radio jockey continuously speaking something, and you kept the phone outside and going inside and going out. So I want the answer from all the people. So next, what I'm saying, all of you be ready with your phones. Okay. So you want to type with the phone here. You want to type. You want to open your browsers in the phone and type it. Okay. So another interesting website or search engine, I'll say, that is hunter.io. hunter.io. So if you want the list of people's information, okay, how many people are there in specific company and what their email IDs. If you want to wish to find that information, you can use the hunter.io. Yes, we'll test it. First I go with tcs.com. So tcs.com has 2 email addresses. Okay. You can type here. You can get this 2194 email addresses. So you want to guess these 2 words here. Please check. You want to guess these two words, Sunil Kumar, sunil.kumar1@tcs.com. These are active email addresses. You should type your MVSR, mvsrec.edu.in. It's a one type of web forensics. You are searching for some information to hack something. So contact, you can easily understand contact at mvsrec.edu.in. Support, next one support. This one is you can understand very easily. And this one you can understand. Principal is for placements, I think. Yes. So if I want to know the information, how many people are there in specific company and what are their emails, if you can find with the help of this information, that is use of hunter.io. Shows names which starts with some particular domain name. You can type your college name, whatever it may be, whatever domain name you can have in your mind. If you want to know the email addresses, you want to guess that first two words you want to guess here. You can notice some particularly, you can figure out it, and you can guess the email by saying the emails here. So you need to identify these two characters. Yes or no? I think it's very interesting. Please send some messages in chat box. Please reply in chat box. No one. All are sleeping. Okay. Next one is we'll go for reverse IPs. So what is a reverse IP? So you can enter your IP address. So reverse IP domaintools.com. So enter any IP address here. It will tell you what are the other website hosted on same server. It is called as a reverse IP lookup. So how many people are using the same IP address in different servers? Okay, I can enter any IP address. Lookup. Just click on lookup. It will tell you what are the other websites hosted on the same server. So I cannot find this on this IP address. You can try other IP address here. This IP address also not there. You can try what are in the mind. Okay. Now I can get. So these many websites are hosted on the same server. Okay. You can find the record here. If someone has created a job portal, you can collect some information from that here. You can collect the reports. So with the help of this domain reverse IP domaintools.com, you can figure out other websites hosted on the same server. What are the subdomains available, and who created that particular website, and how many other websites created by the same email IDs, which is mentioned in who is in the records. That information you have to collect. So this is more desirable for the web forensics. Yes or no? Just enter IP address. It will show all other website post information which are using the same information. Okay. Or you can go for the command prompt. Just type the ping mvsr.ec.edu.in. So you can get the IP addresses here. It's pinging. First packet is timed out. Okay, you can get the IP address here. The statistics. These all are private IP addresses. 43, 255, 154, 67. Okay. Okay, you can notice it is same. A few websites also on the same server here. May be, may not be. They are interrelated or related. All these things are clues or evidence to figure out these things here. Yes, it's a common thing, but if you go for reverse IP, you can get the subdomain names very easily, which are running on the same server. Okay, it's already late. I think you are joining very late daily, so I cannot cover so many topics here. I'll go with syllabus now. So try to know, you can understand something. So yesterday we discussed what is the need of security. We completed the security professions and organizations, data ownerships, as well as committees of interest. Also discuss why security is needed, business needs first. We completed protects the ability to function, enable safe operations. Yes, and we also discussed enable safe operations of applications implemented on its IT security, protects data, the collection organizations collects and uses, standard safeguards, safeguards technology. Now we'll go for the threat. So what is a threat? How you are protecting your information or asset from the threat here. Okay. We'll start the class now. So first of all, what is a threat? Threat is an object. It may be an object or a person or other entity that represents a particular danger, a constant danger for your asset, for information. Asset is nothing but your information, your data. Everything in the organization, it may be an asset. Hardware is asset. The software is asset for your organization. Your computers is an asset, and even the people is an asset, as well as the information is asset. So all these things comes under the asset here. The constant danger to the asset is nothing but an asset here. So management must protect this information through some policies. Management should protect this information through policies here. Next one, education and training. So every organization needs some awareness programs here. So education and training the employees of the organization, and technology controls. So what are the controls you are maintaining for the different types of security? Maybe a physical security. I can provide the locks. I can do finishing through the walls. Okay, now so many locks I can provide. I can provide some security guards for my organization, and physical security comes under that. Like that, I can provide security for my information. I can provide security for my network with the help of network security. So what are the technology controls I'm using for to provide the security for my organization? So management protect is information through policies as well as education and training. Okay, and technology controls. So to make sound this type of decisions about the information security, the management is forced to create the policies, enforce them. Okay, management must be informed of different threats, different kinds of threats facing its organization. So they want to understand applications, its applications, as well as the data and information systems. So Computer Security Institute, or you can say Federal Bureau of Investigation, okay, CSI or FBI. FBI stands for Federal Bureau of Investigation. I'll type here Federal Bureau of Investigation. Computer Security Institute. SCI stands for Computer Security Institute. The survey, what is the survey on the computer crime and security survey found? You can found with the help of this CSI as well as the FBI. So 90% of organizations respond here. Primarily large corporates, companies, and government agencies detected this computer security breaches within last 2 years or 3 years maybe. Okay. So number of attacks came across the internet from 70%. 70% I can say in 2001 and 74% in 2004. So only 34% of organizations reported their attacks to the law enforcement. Only 90% of organizations are responding here. Maybe it may be corporate companies, maybe government agencies. Graded some computer breached, okay, now computer security breaches within the last year. So we'll go for the different threats here to understand this. Very good. So there's a category of threat, and these are examples. We'll go one by one. So categories of threats, it may be a different types, compromises to intellectual property. It's a 10 marks question. And software attacks, deviations in quality of service, and espionage or trespass, forces of nature, okay, and human error failures, information extortion, missing, inadequate or incomplete, missing, inadequate or incomplete controls, vandalism, theft, as well as technical hardware failures or errors, technical software failures or errors, and technological obsolescence. So we go one by one according to our syllabus. First one is a potential acts on human error or failure. Potential acts on human error or failure. So this human error or failure, nothing but accidents. You can say accidents, any accidents, or employee mistakes comes under the human error or failure here. So which includes some possibility of acts here performed without intent or malicious purpose by the individual, by an individual who is an employee of organization. So why this type of errors or failures may have happened by human being? Because of inexperience, not well trained, called as inexperienced people, improper training, and making of incorrect assumptions, and maybe other circumstances that can cause some problems. So employee mistakes easily lead. Okay, so that is a revelation of classified data, accidental deletion sometimes, or modification of data may be done by the employee. Okay, storage of data in unprotected areas. That means you are not safely storing your information. You're opening your computer and going out, so you're not maintaining any password. These are some mistakes, improper training, incorrect assumptions, inexperience. Okay, all this makes the human error failures, employee mistakes. So many threats can be prevented with this. One is controls, ranging from simple procedures to more complex procedures. Okay, such verification of this combines by the it may be from the second party or third party. Coming to the deviations in quality of service. Deviations in the quality of service. Potential deviations in quality of service by the service providers generally. So who are the service providers? Example for the service providers. Anyone? Please chat in the chat box. Simply listening. Who are the service providers? For Airtel. Okay. Then one more. ISPs. Power man services. It may be issues from the service providers. Yes. So, which represents the situations in which product or services are not delivered to the organization as expected. Yes or no? So, organization information system depends upon successful operations of many interdependent support systems, including it may be include some power grids, telecom networks, power supplies, not supporters, sorry, and service vendors. And maybe a staff and garbage values also. So we can go for the internet service or communications, power irregularities. These three sets of services issues that dynamically affect the availability of information systems here. If we go for the internet services issues, organization generally rely heavily on internet and web to support some continued operations, I can say. Threat of potential loss on internet service can lead loss in availability of information generally. Yes or no? So organizations have to solve this problem with some telecommunications at remote locations. Whenever the staff is making some connections, sending some information to the remote locations. So when organization places its web servers in core of web hosting providers, that outsource assumes responsibility for all internet services as well as for the hardware as well as the software operating system used to operate this website. So in deviations quality of service, we also go with the communications and other service provider issues here. So other utility service can impact organization as well as is one is the telephone. Example I can take telephone. If water also comes in this, cable television, natural, etc. Whatever it may be. The threat of loss of these services can lead to inability of your organization to function properly. If telephone is not working, if water is not working, okay, the services what you're getting for your organization not working properly. Another one is a power irregularities. What is this power irregularities? It may be threat of irregularities from the power utilities. These are common, lead to some fluctuations such as power excess, there's a power excess. Next one, the power shortages sometimes. You can see in your college so many times, power shortages when you're doing in the lab. Yes. Power shortages, power loss. So voltage levels can be a spike. It may be a spike. What is a spike? Momentary increase, you can say. Sag means momentary low voltage. Fault means momentary loss of power. All this comes under the power irregularities here. Okay. Now we'll go with the espionage and trespass. Trespass acts on the espionage and trespass. So if you go for any DRDL company, or any government offices, some places, you can see some boards here. Trespass. Trespass are not allowed to the organization without the permission. You can see the boards, I think. Go for DRDL, go for any RCI places, you can see the trespass boards. What is trespass? Trespass is nothing but unauthorized persons, unauthorized access or data collection. Trespass stands for unauthorized. Unauthorized access or unauthorized data collection. So this type of threat represents well-known and broad category of electronic and human activities that can breach your confidentiality of information. Yes or no? You can see some boards when you go for some organizations. Trespass are not accessed here. Unauthorized access. Unauthorized persons cannot enter your organization, cannot access anything surroundings of this particular organizations here. What happens with this espionage or trespass? When unauthorized individual gains some access to your information of your organization or is trying to protect, that act is characterized as a deliberate act of espionage or trespass here. Example can take when information gathers, any information gathered of a particular employee, techniques that cross the threshold, and what is illegal, what is ethical, they enter the world of industrial espionage. They want to know the what is illegal, what is the ethical to access some information. So you can see so many examples. If you go for ATM, so instance of shoulder suffering, you can see example for that. What is shoulder suffering? Anyone? Please chat in chat box. Shoulder suffering. So generally this shoulder suffering can occur at computer terminals, some desktops, some ATM machines, some public phones or other places where person is accessing some confidential information. I told example also. Please, anyone? Shoulder suffering? Peeping into the other's phone. It's also one type of shoulder suffering. But if you go for ATM, best example say, so you're trying, there's a condition when you enter into ATM. Okay. So one person at a time. But the people nowadays, what they will do? Even one person is there, another person also standing outside of the or inside of the in the ATM machine here, and trying to see your information when you're typing some password, you're typing taking some money. So all this comes under the shoulder suffering. Okay, public telephones, we're typing or talking to some, sharing some confidential information, computer terminals. All these instances comes under the shoulder suffering. So attackers use many different methods to access the information stored in the information system. Some information gathering techniques are legal. Yes. Example, you can take the web browsers. Web browsers are legal. You can use anyone. Perform some market research. These legal techniques are called as a competitive intelligence. Competitive intelligence here. So some information gathering techniques are legal. So I have shown some information. It is not show suffering, right? Yes, peeping information is different. Peeping others' phone information is somewhat different. I saw another example for that. Aditya, no worries. I'll come to that also. Peakers, we are using the peakers for that. Peaking, hacker, cracker, peaking, telephone. Peaking is other, but peeping others information, others phone here. Okay, no worries. So some information gathering techniques are legal. Web browsers to perform market research. So I'm showing some of the websites here daily. So it may be some legal, some are not legal. Okay. So what are the web browsers to perform some market research, whatever it may be? These legal techniques are called as a competitive intelligence here. So when information gathers, employ techniques across the threshold of what legal or ethical they are conducting as a industrial espionage. Industrial espionage here. Okay. So important one, espionage and trespass. So acts on trespass can lead to unauthorized real or virtual actions, you can say, and the controls implemented to make the boundaries of organization virtual. So controls let trespass known they are encroaching an organization cyberspace. So we also see some deliberate acts of espionage or trespass in a form of hacker. Okay, we never complete this topic, espionage and trespass. What is a hacker? Anyone? Yes. Whom we called as a hacker? Please chat in chat box. I'm not radio jockey. Once again I'm saying. So many are sleeping, I think. What is a hacker? What hacker has? What type of skills they have? So hacker is nothing but people access information illegally. So hackers use skills. They have skilled fraud to bypass the controls. What are the controls you have? What are the controls you are using generally to protect your information? It may be a firewall, it may be IDS. So they have good skill and fraud to bypass the controls which are protecting your information. Yes or no? So generally these hackers, I don't want the definitions from the Google. Okay. Generally two skill levels may be among the hackers. It may be a expert hacker. Next one is a unskilled hacker. What is an expert hacker? Yes. Time is running out. So expert hacker generally called as a also called as a elite hacker. Expert hacker also called as a elite hacker. Develop some software scripts and exploits. Develop some software scripts and exploits. He is usually a master in many skills. He'll often create some attack on the software and store them in others here. Master in several programming languages. Master in networking program protocols, operating system. Master in technical environments. All this comes under the expert hacker here. Unskilled, what is unskilled hacker? Unskilled hacker is also called as a no voice use expertly written software to exploit a system. He uses generally a simple software, already written software, to exploit a system. And you also develop, some people also develop, unskilled hackers also develop some software scripts and programs. Generally, these people, unskilled hackers, do not usually fully understand the systems, how to hack, they can hack. So other terms of some system rule breakers are there, other than this hacker as unskilled hacker, expert hacker, that is nothing but a cracker. What is a cracker? Anyone? Cracker. Break in passwords. Okay, somewhat correct. Who cracks or removes software protection designed to prevent unauthorized duplication? Who cracks or removes your software protection designed to prevent unauthorized duplication is called as a cracker. Okay. Next, another terminology have called as a peaker. Who is a peaker? Just now, one person has told the speaker hacks the public telephone network. Hacks the public telephone network to make the free calls. Is nothing but a peaker. If any telephone wire is going out from you, in olden days, generally you can see this type of things. You can cut the wire and you can make the connection. Hacks the public telephone network to make the free calls, and it can also disturb the services. All this comes under the peaker here. Now we'll go for the forces of nature. So example, you can take a fire, flood, already is there I think, earthquake, lightning, all this comes under the forces of nature. Acts on God posts. Example, how many of you seen the film, Venkatesh film, what is that? Someone? God of Act. He's using the term called as God of Act. Pankal and Venkatesh. Anyone? Gopala. God of Act. Acts of God posts. Forces of nature. So most dangerous threat, you can say. They are unexpected. So act of God posts. Most dangerous threats. They are unexpected. Fire, flood, earthquake, all are coming from the God, act of God. They are unexpected and can occur with very little warning. First of all, when you are getting an earthquake, just moving the world, globe, okay. They disturb not only the individual lives, but also storage, what you are storing, transmission, and as well as use of information. So organization management must implement the controls to limit the damage and the proper continuity plans or continued operations like fire, flood, earthquake, lightning, all comes under the force of nature. Next. Deliberate acts of information extraction. This one. So what is the information extortion? Information disclosure or blackmail. All comes under the blackmail or information disclosure. All comes under the the deliberate acts of information extortion is sensitive data explosion, what it may be. So attacker steals information from the computer system and demands some compensation, you can say, blackmail, and return some for its return and for non-disclosure. So example, you can take a credit card information, credit card number theft is a common thing you can see in nowadays. So remaining, we'll discuss tomorrow. Please join by 9:45. Whatever time we have, before 10 minutes you can join.